we have yet another update on whether or not the Labour Party are going to move left in government like all of the Liberals told us they would do. And it's not going well. So this is being reported by the Sunday Times, and it's that the plans to give people the right to switch off outside working hours are going to be dropped by the government in order to reduce the impact of Labour's new employment rights on businesses. So the Party of Working People, that's what they call themselves now, it's in their Twitter bio, that they are the Party of Working People, are going to get rid of even basic plans to allow you to give you the right to not be contacted by your place of work outside of hours. It's nice, isn't it, the quiet? It's nice, isn't it, the U-turns and the broken promises and the lies? And it's squarely being done because business lobbied them to do so, right? Previously a commitment, a manifesto commitment no less, and it just gets scrapped, right? Because you cannot trust a single word that comes out of Keir Starmer's mouth. And again, all these Liberals, right, if this was Boris Johnson breaking a promise, they would immediately and correctly be attacking him for it. But as soon as Starmer breaks a promise, it's just like, what about the businesses though? What about the poor little businesses, the poor we call bourgeois owning the means of production? Or poor them. Oh, they can't have to deal with not harassing you outside of working hours. A government source said the right to switch off is dead. We have to lower business compliance costs as much as possible. And apparently it's a big cost for businesses to not contact you outside of the hours you're literally contracted to work. Why don't we just have everyone with electronic tags? And if you move 2 miles outside of the area of your place of work, you get an electric shock. I mean, they already tag you if you work at an Amazon warehouse to know that you're not taking too many coffee breaks, right? Or too many bathroom breaks. You know? They already tag you in those warehouses. Why not tag you all the time so you can never be too far away from your place of work, just in case they need to contact you? Because that might lower business compliance costs. Party of Labour, my fucking ass. This is why Sharon Graham said the Employment Rights Bill had holes in it like Swiss cheese. Because the whole government has holes in it like Swiss cheese. Their entire platform is full of holes like Swiss cheese. I'm sure that money that Unite the Union gave the Labour Party is being spent really well. Likewise for the CWU, likewise for Unison. I'm sure you're getting your money's worth out of supporting the Labour Party at the general election and still being affiliated as trade unions to the Party of Working People again, except when you want to be contacted outside of hours. And this is again after they softened their non-dom tax changes, after being lobbied by non-doms. Like the richest people in the country lobbied the government, and Rachel Reeves just kind of keels over. She immediately, I can't be bothered standing up to the private equity bosses and the millionaires and billionaires. No, in fact, what we're going to do is cut aid to the poorest in the world by cutting the international development budget. We're going to cut welfare payments to the disabled, right? We're going to cut welfare for the most vulnerable people in society, which is the disabled, we're going to cut all of that. We're going to slash a bunch of programs to invest in new hospitals. We're going to make government departments do a bunch of cuts as well in terms of their day-to-day expenditure too, That's called austerity, by the way. I know that Anas Sarwar said there won't be any austerity under Labour, and to read his lips. Well, turns out his lips were on his arse and he was fucking lying. Just like every other one of these Labour people, all they do is lie. They seem to lie with every single breath that they take. And now after all of this, something as basic as being able to switch off outside of work, too much for the businesses that can lobby Keir Starmer and lobby Rachel Reeves to stop doing this, right? I wonder if the disabled people's lobby at any point will be able to get them to reverse their changes to disability welfare. Obviously, fat chance of that, because poor people who are disabled can't indeed buy Keir Starmer nice glasses and nice dresses for his wife. They can't indeed tempt the business secretary, Jonathan Reynolds, with free tickets to Glastonbury, can they? No, there's actually no leverage that these people have. Just like Lord Ali had leverage to get their plans to restrict donations to political parties from the super rich that Angela Rayner was drawing up. Because he was the one who put a stop to that by, again, having loads of money to give to Labour and buying Keir Starmer loads of prezzies. It's corrupt because they're corrupt. They're just corrupt, right? And they're working in the interests of the rich people. They're working in the interests of the bourgeois. They're working in the interests of the bosses and of the landlords, right? And this is the obvious thing. And they said, we want to be able to bring compliance costs down for businesses, which mean that you, workers, have to be on call 24/7. What is the point of the Labour Party? What is the point of the Labour Party? An excellent question, Atomic Power 93. What is the point of the Labour Party? Like, if you want a party that actually stands up for workers, actually stands up for people who are doing the work that create the wealth of this society, right? You've got to vote for people who want higher wages, who want a better work-life balance, who want universal basic income, who want there to be a cap on the amount with which executives can earn over the bottom workers in each company, who want more cooperative ownership and more state ownership of our economy. You have to vote for the Green Party. The only party that will stand up for workers in 2025, right? The only party that will stand up for working class people in this country is the Green Party of England and Wales, and of course, Scottish Greens, and the SNP if you live in Scotland. But, you know, I'm broadly looking at the UK, and not everyone can vote SNP. If you really want to see protections for workers, you know, the Green Party is where you have to go. Yeah, I was told that I was mad at Labour because I wanted 100% of what I wanted and they were giving me 40% of what I wanted. And even the very small amount, which wasn't even 40%, like the 10% of their manifesto that I thought was good, like no more £28 billion green prosperity plan, no more of the right to switch off. And then on top of that, doing what the Tories would do on welfare payments, on migration, on geopolitics, whilst funding a genocide, right? Keeping the 2-child benefit cap. What's the point? What's the point? What is the point of voting Labour? You happy, Labour voters? Is this what you voted for? I mean, you voted for nothing, right? You voted for the fucking mystery box because they didn't put anything in the manifesto, basically. And even then, they're still breaking promises. And this is even to talk about all of the promise that Keir Starmer made to the Labour Party when he ran for leader as well. Because remember, in the leadership election, Keir Starmer said, we're going to make broad public health as important as GDP. You know, that was one of his pledges for economic justice, was to make the health of the nation broadly as important as GDP, like human development. And now all we hear about is just growth. Just line go up. Line go up equals world more gooder. I'm sure this policy will make the line go up, but for who, I ask you? For whom is the line going to go up? By scrapping things like the right to switch off? By lowering business compliance costs? Depressing. I remember listening to Rayner's union speech when Labour in opposition. I'm like an idiot. I felt kind of hope, but now it's all being revoked and discarded. Only this because Angela Rayner has no power. She's Bez. She's just Bez, right? That's all Angela Rayner is. And believe me, even now I think that there is at least a glimmer of a good person still left in Angela Rayner. I still think she's a good person. I think that she believes in the things that she says. And I think that she fully backs a bunch of the stuff that was in the workers' rights reforms that she wanted to push through, like the right to switch off. I think she still backs the council house building proposals. And I think that she still backs the plans that she drew up as deputy leader to restrict campaign finance donations, right? I think Angela Rayner still believes this stuff. The problem with her, she's a traitor. The problem with Angela Rayner is that she's a traitor, is that she ended up backing the right-wing coup of the Labour Party because she thought she would be able to tame it, and she realised that they've tried to sit her at the adults' table, right? She thinks they call themselves the adults in the room. She's from the left, so she's like a child in the room, right? They've invited her up to the adults' table, and they just pull the chair out as soon as she tries to sit down, and then just sit around laughing at her while she's sitting there with all of the legislation that she wanted to push through on the ground in tatters because Caesar McSweeney's thumb pointed down. Like, how long is she going to last just realising that everyone is laughing at her internally within the party, right? You know, we all read what was in the Maguire and Pogren book they talked about in the Times articles, about how she spoke about Keir Starmer, he couldn't run a bath, right? We all know that Angela Rayner doesn't think much of this administration, and yet she is not using her position as deputy leader to fight back against it. And that, quite frankly, that, as far as I'm concerned, is the biggest crime, is the biggest sin of her period as deputy leader, again, which I voted for as well, is that even when she wants to try and push through good things, she doesn't fight her corner. Because if she was fighting, right, if she was fighting the leadership at every corner, maybe we could forgive her, but she's not. She's caved in, and she just goes, can we have this piece of legislation? No, Angela, go sit at the kids' table, go wave your maracas around like bears, like John Prescott. And then she goes, oh, okay, then fine, I guess I'll just go back into my corner. Hey there, if you enjoyed the video, make sure that you like and leave a comment. That helps the video out in the algorithm. If you subscribe and ring the bell, it'll let you know when I go live. I stream every day on YouTube and Twitch. You can also follow all of my socials down in the description. And if you want to support me in a more financial manner, there's a join button for membership. It's just 99p to be a member on YouTube, as well as a Patreon, and there's some merch there as well. And hopefully I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.